Hello there, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time of day or night it is with you. Welcome to another verbal class. Welcome to an IELTS speaking class as well. My name's Hamish, and I'm going to be looking at you and practicing questions about, well, in the part one section of the speaking section of the IELTS exam, and in particular we're going to look at some questions and hopefully some answers about food as well, because that's quite a common thing for them to ask about, and especially food that comes from your home country, and of course food that is a favorite of yours, things you might like to cook or things that you might like to make or even eat out in a restaurant. So we're going to look at some of those questions today, and I hope we get as much practice as possible. Let me briefly explain. These first 2 minutes are for Verbling Premium users, so if you have a Verbling reservation, you can join the class in these first 2 minutes and make sure that you get a spot at the classes that you really want to attend. While we're in these 2 minutes, let me say hello to students who are here with me. Ida, hello Ida.
Hello, how's it going?
Pretty good, how are you?
Pretty good too. It's an awful weather here in Spain, but...
Is it? Is it wet? Is it cold? What's going on?
It's raining. It has been raining for almost 2 months. It's horrible.
I know it's not funny at all. Is it? That's a long time. A long time to be raining.
Quite boring.
Okay. Well, I won't tell you then about the beautiful weather here in Tennessee. That would be unfair. So I won't even mention how warm and how beautiful it is here today. No, I'm not going to talk about that. Welcome back to class, Ida. Really good to see you here. Let me say hello to Andrew. Hello, Andrew.
Hello, Hamish.
Oh, there we go. Hi. How are you today?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you doing today?
I'm pretty good. I'm pretty good. Andrew, tell me, where are you from?
I'm from Russia.
Russia. Okay. Whereabouts in Russia?
Sorry. What part of Russia?
Yeah. Which part? Yeah.
Far East.
Okay. Great. Welcome to class. Tell me, Andrew, are you? Do you want to prepare for the IELTS exam, or do you just want to practice your English with us today?
Yes. I just want to practice my English. And
okay.
Also, I'm interested in IELTS exams and the system, how it's organized and how it's
Okay, okay. And, well, we'll definitely get some, we'll be concentrating on that speaking section, of course, of the IELTS exam today, and in particular, the part one of the speaking section, which are always very personal questions that only the student can answer about things they like, they don't like, and sometimes it's about work and about studies. In this class, we're going to focus on food questions, which can be quite common. But Andrew, thank you so much for joining us. I look forward to practicing with you. All right. Let me say hello to everyone else, and we'll get started. Hello, Frank. How are you? Frank. Hello. Can you hear me, Frank? You might need to... Oh. Yeah, well, you might need to adjust your microphone so we can hear you.
Hello, teacher.
Aha, there we go. Thank goodness. Yes, I can hear you loud and clear.
I was loading the Hangout.
Ah, I see. Maybe it's a little slow today.
Nice to meet you. This is my first class with you.
Yeah, nice to meet you too. Frank, tell me, where are you from?
I am from Italy.
Welcome.
And thank you.
Yeah.
And northern Italy, and I like studying English, and that's why I am here.
Okay, well, good reason. Well, I mean, welcome to the class. So you're from? I mean, are you? Do you live in a small town, or do you live near a big city, Frank?
My city is Bologna. It's not a very big town, but yes, it's an important town of the northern Italy.
No, sure. Well,
not very big, not like, for example, Milan or Turin, but
no, absolutely, but still a nice town. You're right.
Not very far from Florence, about 100 kilometers from Florence.
Yeah. That's my wife's favorite part of Italy is Florence, I must admit. So she's a big fan of that whole really the Tuscan region. She loves to visit there. So she's jealous. She's jealous of you right now, wherever you are in Italy, to be honest. It's really nice to meet you, Frank. Let me say hello to...
the same.
Oh, no, you're very welcome. Is it Nukmal Shakur? Hello.
Yeah. Hi, Mr. Farlane.
How are you today?
I'm fine, thanks.
And where are you from?
I'm connecting from Malaysia, Kuala Lumpur.
Okay. And are you from Malaysia, or are you just there at the moment?
Yeah, I'm at Malaysia now. I'm in Malaysia.
Okay, great. And are you planning to take the IELTS exam, or are you just practicing your English with us?
Yeah, I'm practicing my English basically, but I'm going to take ELS soon.
Okay, and why do you want to take that exam?
Because I mean, here is like a requirement for me to take the ELS, because I will be in aviation, so the so the main language I think is English, so everything is in English, so we have to have a good command in English.
Oh, absolutely. Okay, no, that's a very solid reason. Okay, well, I want to say a big welcome to you to this class, and I hope we get some good practice for you this morning as well. And good, thanks for joining us.
Thanks.
Let me say hello to Stas. Hello, Stas.
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
I'm fine, and you?
I'm pretty good. In fact, I'm very good today, this morning, to be honest. Stas, where are you from?
I'm from Kazakhstan.
Very nice. Welcome to Verbling. Welcome to this IELTS class. Tell me, Stas, how's the weather in Kazakhstan? Is it still winter with you?
Oh, very hot.
Ah, okay, not winter at all then. Very good. Well, it's very hot here. Well, it's warm. It's getting very warm here in Tennessee, and when it gets warm, it means we have lots of thunderstorms. So that's something for me to look forward to later this week. Stas, thank you so much for joining us. I look forward to hearing your answers to some of these food questions later on. Let me say hello and welcome back to Talita. Hello, Talita.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fantastic. How are you doing today?
I'm fine. You showed me your cats one day. Here's my baby.
Let's see you. Oh, that is a good-looking cat. That's very nice. How is that a he or a she?
He.
Okay. How old is he?
10 years old.
10 years. That's pretty good. That's why I think that's when a cat knows. He knows what he wants.
Yeah.
When he's 10, yeah. So not too much trouble, hopefully, from that cat. Very nice to see him. That's cool. And also great to see you as well, Talitas. Thank you for joining us. Let me say hello to two more, and then we'll get started. Vaisal, or is it Vaisal? Am I saying that right?
Yes, you are saying right.
I'm glad.
Vaisal.
Vaisal. Okay.
In English, big ship. It's meaning.
Oh, of course. Oh, that makes a lot of sense. That's very cool. How are you today?
Yes, I am fine, and you?
I'm pretty good. Thanks for... Yes?
I am glad to meet you again.
Oh, absolutely. No, welcome back to class. It's good to hear your voice on Verbling again. Let me say hello to one more. Oh, hello, Yasin. Hello, Yasin. Welcome back.
Hello, Teacher Hamish. Nice to see you again.
And how are you today?
I'm fine, and you?
I'm pretty good.
Yes, teacher. Thanks for asking. Well.
Okay, and it's good to have you back in class. Let me check. Okay, I think that is. If I didn't say hello, I'm sorry, but I think I said hello to most of you, and I really want to get started because I know we want to practice, of course, we want to practice our food questions today. We definitely want to do that. So this is an IELTS speaking practice, and IELTS is an exam you take if you're learning or if you've studied English as a second language, and perhaps you want to continue your studies in your specialist subject, whether that's history or engineering or computer science or philosophy. whatever it is, if you want to study at an English-speaking school or university, particularly in the UK or in Commonwealth countries, where English is the main language, often they'll ask for an IELTS score. Some American schools will also ask for an IELTS score instead of a TOEFL. Perhaps they'll give you that choice. And also, if you want to work in certain professions, as we've heard already, or if you want to go and live permanently in a country like Australia, for example, they will also ask you for to reach a certain IELTS score, so they know that you're confident to speak and deal with people in English when you get there. So several good reasons to take the IELTS exam. 4 parts: reading, writing, listening, and speaking, of course. The speaking section is in 3 parts, and that first part is what we're going to concentrate on today. To actually run that part 1 of the speaking section takes about 3 to 4, maybe 5 minutes, and that's, again, it's the first part, and it's when the examiner will introduce themselves, will ask for your identification, make sure you're the right person at the right time, and very common for them to ask you questions about your work or about your studies, and also about your hometown as well, and about your family. So some very everyday questions, and it's important if you do want to prepare to take an exam like this, make sure that you're confident talking about either what you do or what you're studying and what you'd like to do after you finish studying. Make sure you're confident and comfortable talking and describing your family, the people you're closest to, what you like to do with your family, do you live close to them, and questions about your hometown as well. Is it a big town? Is it a big city? A small village? What sort of things can people do there? What kind of jobs do people do there? What are the good things? What are the problems? So work, study, family, hometown, those are very common things. I can almost guarantee that they'll talk about at least one of those and ask you questions about at least one of those if you take the IELTS exam. Sometimes, well, I'll definitely move on to other things in part 1 as well, and one of those topics is food. So I'd like to practice some quite predictable, I think, food questions with you today, and I want to ask each of you, well, you'll get some of the same questions, perhaps you'll get a different one, but we'll get a lot of practice listening to these questions and, of course, listening to everyone's answers as well. So let me find my questions for you. There we go. Yeah, and again, I've got my list of students as well. So let me start at the start, and that's Ida. Hello again, Ida. Are you happy to practice with us?
Yeah, of course. I'm always happy.
Excellent. That's my favorite answer. I appreciate it. So again, so these questions are for Ida, but please, everybody, listen carefully to the questions and the answers, because you'll get some of these questions later on in the class as well. So Ida, again, that start of part 1, they will ask for identification. They'll make sure you're sitting comfortably, and they'll ask you questions about work or study, perhaps about your hometown, maybe about your family, and then they'll move on and ask you 2 or 3 questions about another couple of topics, and that it could be a language, it could be leisure, it could be your daily routine, but it could be food as well. And this time I want to ask you some questions about food. So, Ida, let's talk about food. What kind of food do you like?
Well, I clearly prefer a healthy food, another one, because I love having a healthy life and exercise and all of that. So because of that, the kind of food I like is fish, blue fish. I mean tuna, salmon, and all that species. Mm-hmm. And I prefer cooking it in the oven instead of with a lot of oil or frying it. Mm-hmm. And furthermore, I enjoy eating vegetables. It's not just because they are healthy; it's because for me they are. I prepare in different ways, and I prepare tasty dishes with vegetables. So I I love, for example, the aubergines, the cabbage, and all of this. And finally, I love eating fruit, all kind of fruit. It depends of the season. So I choose the season food because it usually is tasty, and that's my usual diet most of the days. And I have to confess that I'm an addict to chocolate. I love chocolate.
Okay, very good. What I mean, and so those are the foods that you like. What are the most popular foods or types of food in your home country?
Well, it's in my home country, or concretely in my town. It is quite typical cold meat, you know, ham or all of these. Well, in Spain in general, another dish is a Spanish omelette is quite famous.
Oh yes, that's true.
Or the paella. Do you know what's paella?
No, tell me.
Oh, it's a dish prepared with rice and seafood, and it's quite typical from Spain, especially from the east coast of Spain.
And do you enjoy cooking?
I love cooking. I love cooking, really. I love trying new dishes and enjoying them with the people. It's a pleasure for me.
Yeah, Ida, thank you. Some very good answers. Some very interesting answers. Ida, what do you think of those questions? Are they simple for you?
Yeah, it's always the same. The questions are usually simple. The problem is you become a little nervous sometimes, and you try.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Very quickly, and that's the problem. But
well, no, I understand, and of course it's the first thing we have to do with these questions is, of course, we need to understand the questions. If we don't understand the question, it doesn't matter what we say, we can't answer it. So, but you demonstrated a good understanding of what I was asking. I really liked. Of course, you gave me lots of details about when you responded to the questions, and of course, the thing I liked, as always, the thing I liked most was you gave me the what, but you gave me the why as well, and you gave reasons. I mean, for example, when you talked about eating fruits or vegetables in season, you explained why you like doing that. Your reasons. Oops, there we go. You gave reasons for why you liked why you like cooking, yeah, and you gave reasons for the different foods that you enjoyed. So I mean, this was the smallest thing. You talked about cooking. Oops, cooking it in an oven, yeah.
Yep. I
would just call that. Oops. Oh my goodness, my keyboard's all over the place there. I do apologize. There we go. I would just call that baking.
Okay.
I mean, and if you say cooking in an oven, of course they will understand. But a more natural way would just be to say baking. You mentioned an addiction to chocolate, and of course that is a very common thing, and I think everyone can understand that. We can even describe ourselves. I mean, if we want to say we're addicted, especially to a food, and in particular to chocolate, we can say. We can say we're a chocoholic.
Chocoholic.
Yeah, which is normally.
I love that
word. It's a good word.
I'm going to learn it.
I think it's chocoholic, not chocoholic. I'll have to look that up. But yes, chocoholic. There we go. But yes, I like the details, and this subject always makes me hungry. But I liked you gave some examples of the fish and of the types of fish. As well, and you talked about the tuna, for example, and so important. Of course, we're talking about food, and it's really so helpful for us to be able to give plenty of examples and give a very clear description of the things that we enjoy. And of course, in this class, some of us will be able to do that, and some of us will have to work a lot harder and find it more difficult, and that's okay. It just means that after we practice like this, we can think, oh, okay, yes, maybe I need to look up some of these words, or maybe I need to do a little bit of reading about food, or even just a little bit of thinking about, you know, what do I like? Because some people, of course, they're very comfortable, and it's very normal for them to talk about food. For other people, it's not something they're so interested in. But in the IELTS exam, well, we can't say that. We can't say, oh, I don't really have a favorite food. We need to give the examiner something. So Ida, I think you gave a very good first example of how to answer some of these questions. So thank you for going first, and thank you for your answers as well. I really enjoyed listening to those.
Okay, thank you.
All right, let me carry on and let me say hello. And next on our list is Andrew. Andrew, are you happy to practice with us?
Yeah, sure.
All right, good answer. Again, probably the same questions, maybe something different, but they're definitely going to be about food. And again, it's the same stage in our IELTS exam. So you've talked about other things with the examiner, maybe work, maybe study, maybe family, and then he or she, the examiner, moves on, and they want to talk about food. So, Andrew, tell me, what are some of your favorite foods?
What are some of my favorite foods? My favorite food is meat dumpling.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's very tasty and it's very Irish. Yeah, can I say like that? Yeah. Also, I like salmon caviar, because originally I was born in a small town. It's called Aha Town, and it's located on Sakhalin Island.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's island, and there are lots of fish, salmon, and caviar. Salmon caviar is very popular there. Yeah, especially I prefer sandwiches with salmon caviar. You know, it's like a piece of. I take piece of bread, put a slight butter on the top, and put the caviar on the butter. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. No, that's interesting. And Andrew, tell me, what are some popular foods just in your home country? What do you think are the most popular things for people to eat?
I think meat and dairy products.
Mm-hmm.
Meat, because it's north part of Russia, you know, and it's very cold, and we have to eat more caloric.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
More caloric food. It helps us to feel warm, and also dairy products very popular for our brains. Yeah, not brains. Yeah, because it consists lots of calcium.
Oh, I got you. I'll see. Okay, and tell me, do you cook for yourself? Do you enjoy cooking?
Sometimes I cook for myself, but actually my wife cooks for me.
Mm-hmm. Is she a good cook?
Yeah, she's a good chef. Yeah.
Is she there right now?
That's the question.
Yeah. I had to ask. Andrew, thank you. Some interesting answers. And again, the great thing is about this, we all have interest in things to say. Food is interesting. What we eat and what we eat, and in terms of where we're from and the influences that has. It's unique for all of us, and we can't help but be interesting when we talk about that. Of course, the difficult thing is to do that in a second language, and that's really what takes the practice is to be able to express that in English. I liked your points about. I mean, you were explaining. You were talking about. Okay, well, obviously Russia's a big country, so there are going to be regional differences, and you give us some details about that. And you were talking about, okay, because of the climate, people are going to want to eat those high-calorie foods, and you talk about meat and dairy products. So I like that. I like that point. You also talked. You were talking about dairy products and you were saying good for the brain. I think it was, is it bones that you're looking for? Because calcium is good for strong bones. I know that. But this is not a biology class, so so of course I don't really know the answer. But when I think of calcium, I think of sort of bone density and bone strength, and a lot of people in the United States they're always recommended to drink milk, and especially women as they get older are told to eat more dairy products because of to help them maintain good bone strength. So but that's neither here nor there. You talked about salmon, and do you mean the salmon eggs?
Yes,
that you
caver.
yeah.
Caver.
Right. Okay. So I wanted to check the pronunciation with you because we've got
caver.
There's the word. We've got three syllables. Okay. So we've got caviar, caviar.
Caviar.
Yeah. One more time. Caviar.
Caviar.
Yeah. There you go. There you go. That's it. So it's very much a caviar. Three sounds there for that word. So I was pretty confident I was hearing you correctly, but with that stronger pronunciation, it's going to be much more clear. So it's good to hit that word right. I mean, you were describing it well, and talking. Of course, as soon as you said, okay, well, I'm spreading it on the bread, well, that becomes very clear. And a very popular thing in the UK as well to put eggs like that and spread fish things on bread and toast. So again, makes me hungry. But there you go.
Thank you.
And do you have any questions? Anything you want to ask about these questions or your answers, Andrew?
No.
All right. Well, thank you. Thanks for going second. And I was very interesting answers. Thank you, Andrew. I like that. But, let me go and say hello again to Frank. Are you there, Frank? And are you happy to practice?
Yes, I am here.
Are you happy?
Yes, I'm happy. I am a little bit worried about my English skills.
Okay. And
in order to speaking properly.
Oh, I understand. And this is not a competition. This is about practicing, and
yes.
Everyone is at a different level and at a different stage. So don't worry about anyone else. This is just a practice, really, between you and me. And I'll tell you the things that I like, and I'll want to suggest things for you to work on as well, because that's what I'm for, right? So again, I'm going to ask you very similar questions about food, and this comes at that stage in the exam where you've probably been asked about either your job or your studies, maybe about your family or your hometown. So Frank, let me see. Oh yes, tell me, what kind of food do you like?
Okay, first of all, let's say that I like all kinds of food, and although many people think our food is one of the best in the world, I like eating food from all over the world, especially Indian and Chinese food. About Italy, I want to say that Bologna, my city, is well known for some fine dishes. For example, lasagne, tortellini, and that typical sauce, ragu. Very tasty food. My favorite one is tortellini.
Okay, right.
My favorite one.
Yeah, and tell me, I mean, pasta is that the most popular food for people in Italy, or I mean, what is the most popular thing for people to eat in Italy, do you think?
You know, there are a lot of different recipes, and from one city to another one,
okay,
there are very differences. For example, in this area, dishes like lasagna and tortellini are the best food. The best, well known because of this. I think maybe here in Bologna you can taste the best food from our country, but as the recipes are very different, and
Right. Okay. So as you say, so there's a lot of variety across Italy, and that, and I can absolutely believe that. Do you think? I mean, if you compare Italy to other countries, do Italians eat more meat or more vegetables? What do you? I mean, I know there are differences in the things they're cooking, but what do they eat most of? Do you think?
To be honest, I'm not really into this topic, but I guess because of the Mediterranean diet, in Italy you can't eat very well without eating meat, much meat. It is possible because of the pasta, because of the many recipes you can do, for example, with tomatoes, with potatoes, and yeah. Of course, if you want, there is a lot of food. I mean, pork.
Okay.
And not very healthy, but it's very good.
Okay. Yeah.
For example, around here, from the countryside, there are a lot of recipes you can cook with pork.
Okay. Yeah.
But lately, most of the people prefer no, I don't know how to say properly. For example, pork is going to be not so used like in the past. Yes, it is good, but it's well known how it could be not very good for our health.
Absolutely, absolutely. Frank, thank you so much. Thank you for that practice. Again,
sorry for my mistakes, but
no, I want you to feel comfortable to make mistakes, because that's how we get better, right? So don't worry about mistakes. Mistakes is mostly what the class is for.
Thank you.
So yes, no, don't worry about that at all. And you expressed, I want to say, Frank, you expressed very well some of those local and regional and national differences that you have in Italy. And of course, you're right. Italy is world famous for its food. And I think you described well the point. I mean, I remember from my own times in Italy that the Italians don't rely. Yes, they don't need to eat meat, because so much of the food is locally produced in terms of fruits and vegetables, and of course, and pasta as well. So there's so much goodness already, and so much flavor as well, that meat doesn't have to be such an essential thing. And I think that's a really interesting point. I want to give you the pronunciation of this word that you used several times, and I put that in the chat box.
Recipes.
Yeah, and so be careful with the end of that, because we're hitting what we're really hitting is, or even a
recipes.
Yeah, we're gonna pizza. Recipes. So yes, that ease sound. Exactly, recipes.
So it's recipes, not recipes.
That's
recipes.
Right. You got it. You got exactly right. Yes. So an easy one for you to correct. And of course, if we say it the other way, you'll be understood, but you want to get it right, because of course that will sound much more natural. So yeah. Let me see. I liked your details, and of course you mentioned, okay, well, other global foods like Indian and Chinese, but you concentrated, as the examiner would expect you and want you to concentrate on Italian foods. And when I think about where you are, I think about the fact that the spaghetti I eat is made at the Berea factory.
You know, spaghetti is more common in southern Italy instead of northern Italy.
But I remember the factory, because we drove out of Milan, and I came down and saw a big Berea factory, and thought, oh, that's the spaghetti we buy in our Nashville supermarket. So I promise you, we're staying loyal to the Italian-made pasta in Tennessee as well. Frank, thanks for the practice. I thought.
Thank you.
great to have someone
Thank you.
from your area answering these questions. Really interesting. And I think you did really well to explain yourself as well. So thank you for that.
Thanks.
Let me move on. Oh, there's my mouse. Very good. Yes. Let me come back to Nukmal Shakur. Are you there? Are you happy to practice with us?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm listening.
Excellent. Are you ready to practice?
Yeah.
All right. Very good. Again, very similar questions, all about food. First of all, Nukmal, what kind of food do you like to eat?
As for me, I like to eat food because I'm a kind of having a sweet tooth, so I prefer to eat sweet foods like chocolates, scones, but I also love to eat food. I prefer my favorite foods are more to Italian foods like pizza, because I really love to eat cheese. Because when I was a kid, my parents used to bought me many cheese, so so with that reason, I always love to eat something that contains cheese.
Okay, that's very interesting. What are the most popular foods in your home country?
All right. The most popular food in my country, usually they have for breakfast, is called nasi lemak. It is a continental. No, it's not a continental cuisine. It is our traditional. It contains of rice, and then a sambal is a hot chili, and then anchovies, and then also we can eat it with fried chicken. The rice actually is made up of coconut milk. It is blended with coconut milk, and then and then we also put the pandan leaf. Do you know it? Pandan leaf?
No, I don't know it.
So it makes the aroma of the rice is very, very aromatic. It's really tastes delicious, yeah. So that is one of the popular food in Malaysia, and actually Malaysia is a multicultural countries, because there are three major races here: Malay, Chinese, and Indian. So we have a lot of varieties of food here. You can find Chinese food here, Indian, and there are so many foods in Malaysia. So especially during the celebration, during the celebration like the Eid, the Christmas, the Deepavali, and the Chinese New Year. So at that time, there are many our local cuisine will be served during that day. So at that time, we can have an opportunity to taste various type of foods. Yeah.
All right.
So,
Nukmal, thank you so much. Again, an answer that is very interesting, and of course very, very different to the other answers we have in class today. I think my favorite part of your explanation, your answer was when I asked about a national favorite food, and you were very clear to explain. You talk about Malaysia as a multicultural country and about having three major ethnic sides or thirds, and of course the favorite foods that come from that. For example, Indian food, Malay food, Chinese food, that kind of thing. And I think that's that came across very clearly, and you expressed it very clearly because I was able to understand it, and I would tell everybody here the more clearly the more direct answer you can give. Of course, we need to answer the question, but also the more clearly and the better we can describe our answer or explain why with our answer, the easier it is for the examiner to understand what we're saying. Clearly, the better we're going to do in an exam like this. If they're having to work very hard to understand us, well, that's going to hurt our score, because of course if they can't understand it, they can't give us credit for it. But Nukmal, I want to commend you for some good, clear pronunciation, but also some really good word choice and your ability to explain the food culture in your home country, I think in a very clear and interesting and well detailed way. I've only got one word to give you really for pronunciation, and that is this one in the verbal link chat there.
All right.
And it's kind of the opposite of the word we did before. So how do we say that one? Nukmal?
Pizza.
Now that's a little bit better. Okay, so we're gonna hit that. We're gonna hit that t, right? So again, we got two pretty clear syllables. We got the peat and the z. Yeah, pizza, pizza, together like that. Yeah. So I think yes, pizza is pretty popular, a popular global food, and that was it was not a big deal, Nukmal. That was a very small part of your answer, but I wanted to make sure you were clear on that pronunciation, just because with British ears or American ears and native English speakers, it's a very common word, of course, and so if we pronounce it properly, that will sound much more natural. But far more important for me to end by saying with you, I think your descriptions and your answers were very, very clear and really well detailed. So thank you for practicing, and I really enjoyed that answer. Thank you, Nukmal.
You're welcome.
All right.
Thank you too.
No problem at all. You're very welcome. Let me move on to Stas. Hello, Stas. Are you there?
Yes.
All right. Are you happy to practice with us today?
Yes.
Very good answer. All right. Stas, tell me, first of all, what are your favorite foods?
Favorite foods?
Favorite foods.
Foods. Okay. I like different foods, but my favorite foods and my native traditional food is borscht and meat, pizza, and I like foreign languages too. I sometimes eat a pizza and different fruits and vegetables, interesting vegetables and fruits, which I don't visit my country.
Okay, and tell me, Stas, do you like to cook?
Sorry, please, can you write it word?
Well, that's a difficult one. What I say, I mean, okay. Let me ask a different question. Do you prefer to eat in a restaurant, or do you prefer to eat at home?
I usually eat at home, and I sometimes go to restaurants.
And what kind of restaurants do you like to go to?
Oh, I like it very. Please, second.
Sure. I'm just gonna put a word right there.
I like a quiet restaurants and very. I don't know to say it. And very interesting place.
Okay, Stas. Okay. Thanks for those answers. And and it's good to practice this stuff. I mean, the more that we practice, the better we can do. And I know in an exam like this, or in a conversation with someone in English, they'll always be looking for examples. So if we talk about fruit, or we talk about restaurants, the listener is going to be listening and interested in the examples you give. So of course I'm encouraging you to of course to expand the vocabulary and think of good ways to explain what you like and what you don't like. A very common word that we struggle with is that one. I put it in the verbal link chat. It looks as if, well, let me see. It looks like 4 syllables, right? Vegetables. But I don't know anyone, either in American English or British English, who really gives it the full vegetables. Yeah, it probably should be, but no one. The natural pronunciation for vegetables is to think of No, we're in a hurry. Let's just go with veg. Yeah, vegetables.
Vegetables.
Vegetables. No, vegetables.
Vegetables.
There you go. So we say it in a shorter way, a quicker way. So vegetables, and that's not a British thing or an American thing. It's just a native spoken English thing. It might even be the wrong way to say it, but it's the natural way. Yeah. So vegetables. Stas, thank you so much. I appreciate your practice. Thanks for joining us in class today. Nice one.
Thank you.
No problem at all. You're very welcome. Just get my screen back there. 1 second. Talita, hello. Are you there?
Hi, I'm here.
Excellent. And that cat still looks good. My cats are all outside today because it is a beautiful day, and I don't think I'll see them all day. They're having too much fun. Are you happy to practice with us, Talita?
Yeah, a little bit nervous, and but I'm fine.
Okay, and a little bit nervous is absolutely fine. That's a good thing. That's a good thing. That helps us. I'm a little bit nervous too, to be honest. But it helps that this is my first language, of course. Makes it kind of easy for me. You're right. Too easy, probably.
Speaking Portuguese now.
You're right. You're right. If we did it that way, I think you would be a lot more comfortable, and I would be a lot more uncomfortable. That would be interesting, and I think the conversation would be very, very one-sided. So.
If I start to speak Portuguese here, you will understand?
No, not at all.
Nadinha, nadinha.
No, I have no Portuguese, and I tell you, and yes, I'm a terrible student. Really, maybe I'm a better teacher than student. But maybe one of these days, you can teach me some Portuguese, and that will do me some good. I think it's. Yeah,
I will send something on Facebook or something else in Portuguese. So you will be able to translate, maybe.
I'll appreciate it. Keep it simple, though, Talita. So because I'll learn it. I promise. I appreciate that. Thank you. It's a good language to learn. I mean, it's you got some big.
But it's difficult.
Yeah. Is it? Yeah.
It's really difficult.
Okay. Well, maybe I won't learn it. Let's ask. I'm going to ask you some questions about food. You've heard these questions already, of course, in this class. First of all, Talita, what are your favorite foods?
Here in Brazil, we have different kinds of food: Japanese food, Chinese food, Italian food, and here we have a mix of this. My favorite kind of food is probably Japanese food. I know it's strange, but because I'm a Brazilian, but my favorite kind of food is Japanese.
Okay, why do you like Japanese food?
I don't know. I like the taste. I don't know why.
And is it easy to find Japanese food?
Here, yeah.
Yeah.
Here we have rodizio. You know what it
Oh
means?
yeah. Sure.
Yeah. Here we have rodizio of Japanese foods. We have sashimi, sushi, tekamaki, different kind of food of Japanese, and it's easy to find this.
Okay. And other is it? I mean, are there lots of Japanese restaurants where you are?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And is the food, is it expensive or is it cheap?
It's really expensive. I will try to say in dollars.
Okay.
It's almost $30.
Mm-hmm.
It's equal $30.
All right.
Here is 60 reais.
Okay. Goodness me, Faisal, but I turn off your mic just there. I think it sounded like an argument to me. Talita, no, I'm staying with you. Tell me, that's interesting about the Japanese food. Do you like to cook?
Not at all. No, please don't put me in the kitchen.
Why not?
Because almost I burned the food or the food is too raw.
Okay, right. Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't like.
So who cooks in your family then?
My stepmother.
Okay, is she a good cook?
Yes. She's next to me.
Okay, good.
She don't understand nothing in English, huh? God save me.
That's very funny. My last question for you, Talita. How often do you go out to eat in restaurants?
I don't have a lot of money to do this.
Sure. Yeah.
But when I'm studying and not on vacation, I eat in a restaurant almost, I don't know, twice a week.
Okay.
I think.
All right. And so tell me, and when you're on vacation, what's a typical kind of restaurant for you to go and eat in?
I prefer Japanese, but
right.
I don't know, fast food.
Okay.
I'm on vacation, so
exactly. Yeah.
Let's eat a lot of fast food.
Okay. Talita, thank you. Good answers to these questions. And I thought you gave a good description of the Japanese food. And to be honest, it's quite common, isn't it, in a lot of countries for people to have a favorite food that isn't their national food. And I'm from the UK, and we don't have. There's not really a British food.
But you don't have the accent.
No. I teach I try to teach with an American accent. I try to be consistent about that because I live in the United States now.
Oh, okay. But I prefer the accent of British. British accent.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, next time I'll turn on my British accent so you can. So that'll be much more fun and much easier for me as well. It's a blend, really, the accent. But in the UK, the most popular food in the UK is Indian food, and after that maybe Chinese food, and then Italian food. So if you ask a British person about their favorite food, I don't think they would ever say, oh, there's some British thing that we like. So it's very, very common for them to talk about other foods from other countries. And of course for them to say that they really enjoy those other foods. I liked your description when I asked you about cooking, Talita, and you were working hard to explain why you didn't like doing that, and we can improve the vocabulary around this, absolutely. But you conveyed the meaning. I was able to understand what you were saying. I know you talked about either you burn it, or you don't cook it well enough, and that it's raw. So that was a very nice, and of course a humorous way to explain why you don't.
I'm always do this.
And I'm also a terrible cook as well, so I'm sympathetic. I understand these things. Tilly, I better move on. But thank you so much again for practicing. I thought again, it was a very interesting set of answers, and everyone we've heard today, we've had some very unique and special examples from everyone today. So Talita, thank you so much for that. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. Vaisal, tell me, are you there?
Yes, I am here.
Excellent. Are you happy to practice with us, Vaisal?
Of course, absolutely. I am happy to be here.
Fabulous, fabulous. Okay, let me start my practice with you, Vaisal. Tell me, first of all, what are your favorite foods?
My favorite foods, I can say seafood. Seafood, such as fish or others.
Okay. And for your home country, what are the most popular foods in your home country?
Country popular foods is doner and shish kebab.
Right, and the UK as well, by the way. Yeah.
Do you hear that before?
Tell me again.
Shish kebab, doner.
Yeah.
Do you hear that before?
Oh yes, absolutely. It's very popular in the UK. Yes, very, very popular. Especially if you go to an English city, you will always find somewhere to have a kebab, and a doner kebab, or as you say, a shish kebab as well. Yes, very popular in Britain.
And raka.
Yeah, yeah. Tell me, do you ever cook at home?
Sometimes, little. Mostly, my wife cooks or meal.
Oh, okay, and yeah, when she cooks, what's your favorite food when she's cooking?
His favorite, I think she likes different types food, so we love them because we need different types, different vitamins, or there's different foods.
Okay.
Or meats.
All right. Hey, thank you for that. Thank you for those answers, Vaisal. I think, and again, we can. I mean, your explanation in terms of kebabs and things like that, those ethnic foods, that was clear. There's some hesitation there when you're talking, and the more practice we have, and hey, of course, I know a lot of people, of course, aren't. It's not a normal thing for them to talk about foods, or in English either, to talk about these things. So if we practice, then we'll be more comfortable and more confident talking about these things. But I like your, again, very interesting answers, and again, unique answers for you. Each time in class today, we have a different perspective, a different experience, and that's always so interesting, I think, to listen to. So thank you so much for that.
I want to say something, if you allow me.
Okay, go for it.
Nowadays, some people wants to be a vegetarian. It's popular. I don't think it's good. We can eat, and we must eat red meat. just not only white meat. Specialists advise us white meat, vegetable, but we need red meat and fish.
Okay. Well, Vaisal, thanks. I know I appreciate that opinion. Of course, people have different reasons for eating things, and sometimes that's down to culture and availability and health and faith as well. Of course, can inform what we eat sometimes. I know there are a couple of students that I didn't get to today, and I'm sorry about that. We have talked ourselves and listened to ourselves out of time, but I'm going to be running more classes, more IELTS speaking classes, TOEFL classes, job interview classes as well. Lots of speaking classes here on Verbling with myself and with other teachers. So please, if you enjoyed this class, please follow me on Verbling and on Facebook as well. Let me get my screen back there. Oh yes, there we go.
Thank you very much.
All right, there's my Facebook link. So please keep in touch with me, and I'll let you know when we're running these next set of classes. Thanks to everybody for your answers and for some of your questions as well today. I really enjoyed listening to your answers today, and I think I have to go away now and eat a huge meal somewhere.
Thank you, teacher.
Maybe someone. You're very welcome. I hope to see you all again very soon. Okay, thanks a lot.
Hamish,
Okay.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
I will send you something in Portuguese and in English, okay?
I look forward to it. Thanks, Talia. Okay. Bye.